Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been putting off talking about this one for a while now. Not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I needed to get it right. And now it's time. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Alright, enough talk. Let's get right into it.
So my old NAS, which I'd been using since, well, let's just say a while ago, finally kicked the bucket. It completely died after a seemingly routine firmware update, leaving me without access to my files and virtual machines. I tried everything, rebooting, firmware restores, the whole 9 yards, but nothing worked. It seemed like the motherboard had given up. This was a pretty serious situation because I had a complex setup going, multiple drives, SSD caching, a 10 gigabit network card, and even NVMe drives for my virtual machines. Losing all that data was a terrifying prospect. Desperate, I started looking for a replacement that could handle a direct disk transfer, and thankfully found a compatible model. The new NAS arrived quickly, and the upgrade process was surprisingly smooth. After installing the RAM upgrade, I connected my old drives, following the manufacturer's instructions. The migration tool worked flawlessly, transferring everything over without a hitch. It was almost too easy. The only real tweaking involved updating some network settings and adjusting the virtual machine configurations. The RAID rebuild took a while, but that's expected. Now, while I'm incredibly happy with how seamlessly the data migrated, there are a few things I want to mention. The toolless drive caddies are interesting. They're plastic, which feels less robust than the metal ones I'm used to seeing in enterprise-level systems. They're easy to use, but the plastic doesn't dissipate heat as well, and I ended up adding screws to mine for extra security. On the plus side, the RAM upgrade options are fantastic. I doubled my RAM, which significantly improved my VM performance. The expandability is also great. The ability to add M2 drives directly onto the motherboard is a huge advantage. I'm still deciding whether to keep my VMs on the QM2 card or move them to the onboard M2 slots. Some benchmarking will be needed. I do miss the front panel status display from my old NAS. It was incredibly convenient. The new airflow design is clever, separating the CPU, RAM, and M2 slots for better cooling, although the tiny heatsinks for the M2 drives are pretty underwhelming. The case is slightly larger than my old one, but it's still a manageable size. Accessing the internals is easy too. Removing the cover requires just a few screws, a far cry from my old NAS. The biggest downside is the lack of integrated graphics. Because this model uses an AMD processor, you need a low-power PCIe card for video output, which eats up one of your expansion slots. If you already have other expansion cards, you're stuck without a display unless you're okay with sacrificing an expansion slot. Overall, I give it a high rating. The ease of migrating my data saved me a ton of time and potential heartache. The price was reasonable considering the alternative of data recovery, and the minor gripes I have are outweighed by its capabilities. However, if anything significant goes wrong down the line, I'll be sure to update this review. I recommend checking out independent reviews online if you want a more technical breakdown before purchasing. And that's a wrap. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've got thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.